Hey, what's poppin', everybody? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? I don't even say what's poppin' like that. I just thought that'd be some high shit to see on the YouTube channel. But hey, man, apologies for the light in the hair. You hear me? But I just want to talk about something real quick. This is brief little segment, right? Today is Monday, April 16th, 2018. Apparently, it's Emancipation Day in the District of Columbia. I'm currently, me personally, I'm currently unemployed, right? I always work for myself because I'm always working on myself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm unemployed as far as working for somebody else and being on payroll, right? But today being Emancipation Day, I called the unemployment office today, trying to look for work, maybe claim some insurance based on the fact I have been a working citizen, so on and so forth. So I qualify for that. And I heard that the office is closed for Emancipation Day. Now, let me get serious with y'all. Not that I haven't been from jump, but I want y'all to understand I'm not just making this video or these videos to just talk my shit or whatever. I mean, some of that will be on here, but no question. But like the office that helps people who are out of work look for work, the office that we have to contact as residents of the District of Columbia, they closed for Emancipation Day, right? Now, while that's cool to look at it from the positive side, I look at it from multiple angles. To look at it from the positive, on a positive tip, it's the day when slaves got freed, you know what I mean? In the United States. It's the day, it's said in observance for the holiday, right? And so when I heard that, I'm like, that makes sense. Like, one thing we don't really think about is people. Like, if I was employed, I'd be like, damn, if you go by the DC government, then you off for work today, as far as I think. I could be wrong about that, though. But if they close, I'm assuming other DC government-run places are closed, too. Right? So, observance of the holiday made more sense to me. But I was just thinking, like, damn, if I had to work, I'd probably be thinking about, like, damn, I don't got to work. I'm chilling. I'm going to chill today. I got a 3-day weekend. Well, all that good shit. Y'all know how we think as people who got to go to work and we get a holiday. Boom. But when you think about it's an observance of the holiday, you start to think like, hold up, man. Like, damn, that makes more sense. If we really sit and observe what these holidays mean, what they're about, you know what I mean? Like, what they really are in place for. Like, this is to represent the day that slaves were free. You know what I'm saying? So we think about the history. But then I think about, like, New Age slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, my previous employment, real quick, I said I was going to keep this short. My previous employment, it's only been 3.5 minutes, though. I was a manager of some employees, right? Now, at this particular location, these guys made $12.50 an hour working for a multi-million-dollar company based out of Washington, D.C. The headquarters in D.C. And my location was literally right across the street from headquarters. But these cats made $12.50 an hour. You know what I'm saying? I read an article 3 years ago that said to live comfortably in the district, you got to at least be making over $20 an hour. You know what I mean? And that's to live comfortable, not to be rich, not to be wealthy, but just to be able to go to work, come home, pay your bills, maybe do something with your family from time to time, right? A very basic life. They say you need to make at least somewhere over $20 an hour. These guys were making $12.50, doing hard labor, on their feet all day. Me as a manager, on my feet all day. No comfort, no air conditioning in the summertime, no real good heat in the wintertime. Like, we're freezing, working 8-hour shifts. The spot was constantly understaffed. Now, I'm the manager, but those kind of decisions come from corporate, right? I I was pretty much just the body to supervise, you know what I mean? So what I'm getting at, my point is, have we really been emancipated as people, in this country? Now, while, on the surface, it's like, hell yeah, nigga, Negro, what are you talking about? Like we not in chains no more. We not getting our backs whipped and shit. We not our families ain't being sold. Our little babies being separated from their mother. If they look like a healthy baby that might grow up and be strong. And obviously, yeah, that's a given, but like, have we really been emancipated? In that sense, maybe, but I think slavery evolved. This is my personal thought, my personal feeling that slavery evolved. I'm not saying this getting at it like I got the answer, but I just want to open the conversation, which I hope to have at a later time, maybe on my podcast, maybe on some other platform. However it goes, I'd love to have this conversation with intelligent, educated individuals educated on these matters, right? Because, like, if you look at our judicial system, if you look at our, just a lot of shit, just what I was just explaining, like cast on physical labor for $12.50 an hour. And these were men who had grandchildren. Not only did they have families to support, they had families who had families to support. And these men were well over their 40s, working for $12.50 an hour. You know what I mean? Now, some people may be like, well, that's their fault. They never evolved in life. They never moved on. They never went on to do anything better. But these same dudes I'm speaking of wasn't born in America, in the United States. They're not natural citizens. Their first language isn't English. So the deck was stacked against them, from Jump Street. As much as I'm from a black community in Washington, D.C., something that would be considered a hood or a ghetto, to use slang terms, terminologies. But, in my environment where I come from, I hear a lot of people complaining about the odds that's against them and so on and so forth. And I'm not saying we're wrong for that. But like these guys I was managing every day, like I'm talking about really had odds stacked against them. I'm talking about had to sneak in the country, had to lay low and get work when they could, where they could. Otherwise, their ass getting deported. But they can't go back home because the government over there is even more cutthroat. And they kidnapping cats and forcing them to fight in their war. You don't fight in our war, we murdering your whole family in front of you, boy. Then we still gonna make you fight in that war. You don't want to, you gonna die. Or that you gonna go into slavery or be put in prison and your family's dead. So some cats didn't want to deal with that. They escaped. Anyway, today is Emancipation Day in the United States, right? Or at least in DC. That's where I'm talking to people from. Right? So just a question, man. And I don't got too many followers at the moment, you know what I'm saying? I think I have one, you know what I mean? But I just have a question. If anybody else thinks about this, like, has slavery really ended? Is slavery really, have we really been emancipated? Or, now, not taking away from all the good intentions of people, the freedom fighters and all of that. Never want to take away from y'all. The civil rights movements, even before that, just like, anything that had to do with fighting for freedom of the general population of just humanity. I'm not taking away from that. I'm more so speaking to how we can fall into complacency, thinking like, oh nah, society isn't things aren't what it was. Like we see in the Roots movie and all that. So we're good. We moved on from that. We cool. Like, I'm more so speaking to that, like not falling into that trap. Because like, I bust my ass. I work hard. I know people who went to school, sacrificed the partying in their younger years and all of that to work hard and get a degree, and they still can't get a job. At least one good enough to support the area they live in. But they can't just up and leave. They don't know anybody. They don't have any resources in other cities. This may be all they know. Whatever, man. And then you're expected to work a job after getting a degree while paying that school back, while trying to build a life, a family. Build yourself up. You done worked hard. You want to treat yourself. You may be on your own out here. It's like it's a new identity for the whips and the chains. Like the chain ain't physically on your arm. It's invisible. That ball and chain is the motherfucking student loans you owe. You know what I'm saying? That whip on your back may be the fucking these petty ass laws. The cops be doing all the shit the cops doing. Killing people in public on camera. Technology. They lynching people in public, except instead of a rope, it's a pistol. Or it's blunt force trauma. Instead of a noose, it's goddamn putting your arm around a motherfucker's neck while he's saying he can't breathe until he literally can't breathe. You know what I mean? So if y'all revert back to my very first post, man, I was talking about wish I could be proud to be an American. And none of this was premeditated. They just happened to tie in together, these two topics and videos. But, this is just kind of the cat I am, man. This is the kind of stuff I think about from time to time. I just want to share. Hopefully, somebody is feeling good about or inspired by or pondering or thinking about what I was just talking about. I hope, I'm really just expressing myself, but genuinely, I hope I can inspire somebody to get in contact with me, have the conversation. In the near future, I will be looking for panelists for a live podcast or a recorded podcast, however the cookie may crumble or the chips may fall or whatever, the cards turn over, however it goes. I plan to, link up with people in the future and just, get on top of this, man, and have these conversations rather than talking about like what's trending, and fashion and all that's cool. But, I feel like just the world in general is just oversaturated with that stuff. I ain't even gonna name no shows or drop no names, but y'all know what I'm talking about, man. The reality TV and just everything, man. It's just so if it's somebody out there that's down to talk about this type of talk, you talking my language, and I love to connect with you and build. You know what I mean? You can get at me. I'll be posting email addresses soon, contact information. I'm getting this all together. To be honest, like I said, this stuff isn't really premeditated at this point. This is only my second post on my channel. But I go by KM. And just keep looking out. Until then, soon enough. Love. Subscribe too, man. If you see this face and you recognize me, subscribe. And pardon the beard. Like I said, I was just hanging around the house, calling around to the unemployment folks, trying to get some things together. I heard a recording saying it was Emancipation Day. And this came to my mind. I just wanted to talk about it. So, in the words of DMX, get at me, dog. Let's talk about some real shit. One.